And if we are, I'd like to welcome everybody to Thursday Night Trivia here on the one and the only Kings of Horror channel. Some more scintillating content for you all. And while we wait for everybody to get here, we'll give everybody a couple of minutes before I start the timer on the trivia clock there. But we had to miss last week, and that's because we were doing some big stuff. And had to film some episodes of a little show counting down the pipe real soon. So we're real excited about that. You definitely want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and join our Discord so you're always in the know on what's going on. If you're a patron or a member of the channel, we will be posting some fun outtakes. There are plenty of outtakes, and we've only got 4 episodes in the can so far. So no telling what the hell else we'll come up with the other 6. But I'm the only one here tonight. And you know what that means. I'm unsupervised. So before I get into some real trouble, I'll go ahead and start the timer on the trivia. Because I see we got about 30-ish folks in here. That's about what we average for trivia. We have a very loyal trivia base, so I will not keep you waiting. So we'll cut it over to the game. And remember, if you're new, you are welcome to join in. All you have to do is comment in the live chat, not on the comments of the video. Sometimes we get random comments in the video and they don't register for this game. But you have to type 1, 2, 3, or 4 as your answer to the question. That'll appear here on the right hand side. And you, as far as I can tell, you can't really change your answers. So whatever you say goes. So take that into account. But you get an option between 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you make peace of that. But it's just that easy. You just type the number in the live chat. You don't have to type the word. You don't have to say anything. Uncle Pete's not welcome here. You can only. There's a rule that only I can win more than 3 times. I might be magnanimous tonight and not even play because I am the host, and I'm just doing it for funsies. And some people take it way too seriously, and I'm totally over it. Okay, I'm totally over it. I quit crying like an hour before I go to bed every night, and now I'm down to 15 minutes, and I count that to me releasing the emotional baggage that is my recent trivia losses. But I'd like to welcome everybody. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being flexible with the schedule. We may miss a few more trivia Thursdays just because we have a hectic filming schedule and we've got a lot of stuff to do to give you all a full slate for the rest of the year. It will be well worth it, I assure you. Trade a couple Thursdays for consistent weeks of content. It's going to be pretty sick. Real excited. Should have some promos out soon, but looks like the game's about to start. So get your answers in early because sometimes there's a delay here. And Patrick's micromanaging me remotely, so tell Patrick if he wants to micromanage me, he can show up to trivia. Okay. Now, question 1. What is Nancy's address in A Nightmare on Elm Street? Is it number 1, 2814 Elm Street? Is it number 2, 1612 Elm Street? Is it 3, 1428 Elm Street? Or is it 4, 1408 Elm Street? It's a trick question. The movie A Nightmare on Elm Street does not occur on Elm Street. That's my canon movie theory. It's all just a ploy to sell subdivisions. It's all part of the gentrification and destruction of country landscapes. So remember, just type the number. That's all you gotta do. And the computer will auto-magically calculate it. And it takes a hot second sometimes to give the results. There we go. Wow. Everybody got it right. I'm proud of you. Proud of you. We need to make the questions harder. And remember, I'm being gracious and not playing, so you can't get embarrassed by me. So you're welcome. So what's everybody been up to here this second week of June? Can't believe we're already almost halfway through. I guess we are technically halfway through June. And while you're thinking about that, also think about what is the only George Romero directed zombie movie in the 80s? Is it Evil Dead, Return of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, or Dawn of the Dead? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Only Romero movie in the 80s. And just a friendly reminder that a few of these aren't even Romero movies, so you're doing real bad if you've picked a non-Romero movie in here. But that's what we do. We do evil stuff here. Patrick makes these questions, and he tries to hurt you. But he can't be bothered to host tonight. But he can watch and tell me what to do remotely. So, put an F in the chat for Shelby. But looks Day of the Dead is the correct answer. And who could forget Day of the Dead? That's a great movie. You got Bub. I mean, come on. That's a great one. I mean, my favorite is still Dawn of the Dead, but Day of the Dead is a very close second. They're very cool. But I mean, I like all the Romero zombie movies. I wish we had more. What is the only... which grammar. Which is the only Freddy Krueger movie with a male lead? Is it Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare? Is it Freddy vs. Jason? Is it A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child? Is it 4, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge? So, no final girls, huh? You know? I feel like we as fans have come to expect a final girl. So when I see a male lead in a horror movie, I'm very nervous. I don't really know what's going to happen. You know, it kind of sets you on the wrong trajectory. People are anti-woke. They shouldn't watch horror movies because horror movies been bucking trends since the beginning, baby. And the answer is number 4. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Tell him Freddy sent you. You missed it, man. You gotta change your answer sooner. I don't even know if you really can change your answer. I feel like it takes the first one you type in, but it's shameful. Shameful that Freddy's in the chat and he got it wrong. But to defend him, he's been in a lot of movies. He's been doing this for a while. So before joining the crew of Voyager, Robert Beltran co-starred in what 1984 sci-fi horror comedy? Is it 1, The Last Starfighter? 2, is it Starman? 3, Night of the Comet? Or is it 4, Chud, Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dweller? You know, I don't know if I've watched Night of the Comet. I've seen the other 3. It's been a long time since I've watched The Last Starfighter, though. That's probably due for a rewatch. I feel like I've seen Chud the most out of these. And the answer is Night of the Comet. I buried the lead. It's the correct answer. So, Robert Beltran co-starred in Night of the Comet before he joined the Voyager. Freddie, I'll take your word for it. I don't have kids. I don't plan on having kids. But, you know, I'd rather have chuds than children. But don't retract your message, you coward. We saw what you typed. What filmmaking technique was used in the Blair Witch Project? And I'm going to call it vertigo vomit. But the correct answers are to choose from are volunteer filmmaking, improv filmmaking, guerrilla filmmaking, or found footage filmmaking. And I think Patrick meant to say that as guerrilla, like warfare. You get what you pay for. You know, I worry about Patrick. Sometimes I'm afraid he's taking too many hits on the head from building sets. So also I do hit him a lot. So, one way or the other, it's traumatic brain injuries. But who's counting? And the correct answer is gonna be the one and the only found footage filmmaking, aka let's just cut every cost you ever could and call it art. There's like 3 minutes of good footage in Blair Witch Project, and the rest of it is like, I remember people like barfing. It was so stupid. It was honestly an overreaction, but it was really annoying. Too much movement. Question 6. What Dutch body horror movie took middle schoolers by storm in the late 2000s? Is it Your Next? Is it The Human Centipede? Is it Smile? Or is it Bloody Mary? And a special reward for those of you who win trivia more than 3 times, you will actually get put into this movie and a recreation of it. So maybe that's an incentive to not play as hard, you know? Shot for shot. And the answer, of course, is going to be The Human Centipede. And that should not be motivation for anybody to play any harder. For the love of God. We are going to put the mayor and Uncle Pete in A Human Centipede. And I guess I'll have to be in it too because I've won more than 3 times. So it's unfortunate, but I can't make rules and then not follow them, right? So that'd be unfair. I am a gracious emperor of horror here, a king, if you will, but I prefer empire. It's much more aggressive. We're going to move off planet. This is just our staging ground. Question 7. What horror movie is loosely based on the Moonlight Murders in Texarkana circa 1946? Is it Wolf Creek? Is it The Town That Dreaded Sundown? Is it The Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Or is it Dark Night of the Scarecrow? Margaret, you might want to stick with your first instinct. I've never heard of Wolf Creek. But I'm not here to steer your answers. You pick what feels right. I will tell you, if you've never been to Texarkana, you're not missing much. It's literally the corner of Texas where it touches Arkansas and Missouri. It's really, real special place. It's about an hour from where I grew up. It's The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Town That Dreaded Sundown. I don't think I've seen that one. Dark Night of the Scarecrow is definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. We've actually shown it here on the channel. I think we still have it up. That was part of our summer camp programming last year. We had that and the sequel, Dark Night of the Scarecrow 2. And the director of that, J.D. Fagelson, is in. He actually lives here in Kentucky, so I actually got to go interview him. If you buy the Vinegar Syndrome version of I think it's Horror High, I filmed some of the special features for it. So, what was the original title of The Blob? Is it The Stuff, The Snob, The Glob, or Gloop? Or, number 5, Flubber. But yeah, if you buy the Vinegar Syndrome physical release of Horror High, I did the special feature where I interviewed J.D. Fagelson, who was the writer for Horror High, and he gives his thoughts on the film and how it turned out. So I've officially filmed a special feature for a studio. It's pretty cool. It was not luxurious at all. It was actually very, very, very casual, the whole thing, surprisingly. And the answer is The Glob. The Blob was originally known as The Glob. And you know what? If they kept it The Glob, I feel like a lot less people would have watched it. And what a time to be alive that we have 2 goo-based movies. You have The Stuff and The Blob. I mean, that's incredible. And then, if you're an R.L. Stine fan, you also have The Monster Bloods, which I would consider to be a goo-based movie. Which film was not directed by our Lord and Savior John Carpenter? Is it Starman, Memoirs of an Invisible Man, Ghosts of Mars, or Chiller? And I feel like out of respect for my king, I will answer this question, even though I'm formally not participating in trivia. Not because I'm afraid I'm going to lose. Just let's get that out there right now. Just because I feel like it's inappropriate for me to be hosting and playing. It distracts me from what I'm supposed to be doing. I can't be expending what's left of my very limited brain power showing you all up in trivia without a host. So, and the answer, of course, is going to be Chiller, because all the rest of those movies are by the man himself, Johnny Carps, as I call him. You know, we go way back. Goes all the way back to those Halloween movie marathons on AMC. Good times. Good times. Ghost of Mars is low-key pretty underrated. I feel like it was just a little bit before its time, right? Okay. Next question. Final question. Let's see if we're going to separate the wheat from the chaff here. And I know what you did last summer. Whose body does Julie, a.k.a. Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, find in her trunk? Is it Ray, Max, Ben, or Barry? I remember how hyped up these movies were. These movies seemed a lot scarier 20 years ago than they actually have ended up being, you know? It's great. But it's kind of like after you watch it the first time, I feel like it doesn't have the hold on me anymore. I always thought like the parodies of it were even funnier when they start spoofing it, like in Scary Movie. But it does. It's a 90s, iconic revival of the slasher genre, and it brings some of that. Well, obviously SMG's hot. Okay, I wasn't even gonna get into the obvious. Oh, Margaret, convenient excuse to not answer questions, so you miss questions. Okay, cool. No. We can't prove that you went to go get your food in the oven. I mean, I would have rather my house burned down than lose a chance to win trivia, but whatever. We all have different priorities. And we're not doing an AMA with Shelby afterwards, and Patrick can go get a real job since he can't host with Shelby tonight after making me work all weekend behind the camera, so take from that what you will. Margaret, you do not want to check out the Human Centipede. You absolutely don't want to take out... Oh my gosh! Oh, we got a three-way tie, but you know what? I'm going to declare Jules the winner because the computer says she answered faster than your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. We don't tie for first. Your streak is broken! The computer has decided. Okay, we'll give you 3.5 wins in a row. We'll see. We'll put it in arbitration. We'll let it slide. But congratulations, Jules. You are eligible to claim a KOH sticker. DM us or email us. Reach out in some form other than the comments because we'll probably miss it going back. And we'll get your address if we don't already have it. I feel like we got I'm pretty sure we have your address, but remind us what your address is because we don't keep personal information. And we'll get you another sticker. And you win the bragging rights of beating your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete by seconds. Actually, though, since Jason brought it up, you all four of you will be part of the Human Centipede. That's part of the new rules, so... Congratulations. You do all win something, and that is a place in the Human Centipede, and you will not get to pick your position in the Human Centipede. That will be randomly decided based on how much I like you. So, I'm going to give you all 9 more minutes, and the floor is open. What's everybody watching? What's everybody excited to do? What do you want to see us do? What do you hate? Why do you hate me? Who wants to get muted from the channel next? Why does Jason hate the idea of being part of the Human Centipede? There's so many things we could talk about, but we only have until 8:30 Eastern to do it. because your boy has to do other work too. The scripts don't write themselves. So, anybody got any cool merch lately? I gotta say, I don't think I got anything. Patrick sent me home with a bunch of his cast off DVDs. I got the Ice Cream Man on DVD. And I don't know if I've ever watched. Well, no, I've seen the Ice Cream Man. I don't think I've watched it more than once, so I will need to pop that in. And I swear to God, I've probably watched that at least. Oh, it's got to be at least like 15 years ago. That's crazy to even think that much time can pass. Where does time go? Yes, Sultry, you are muted. Yeah, we can't see you. Nobody respond to Sultry. Freddy, you bought a Chucky t-shirt, but you've got Freddy's name? Interesting. Interesting. You know, one of the main rules of horror is you're only allowed to like one franchise. I don't know if anybody told you all that, but you're only allowed to pick one. And if you pick the wrong one, you're banned. And the correct answer is always Halloween 3, and that Halloween should have been an anthology series. Oh, Sunday, you sweet summer child. Jason, you're going to be the tail of the human centipede if you keep talking about it. Obviously, it's living rent-free in your head. And if you aren't aware of my criminally insane escapade, I did watch Halloween 3 31 days in a row. I guess it was 2 years ago. And we have it here on Kings of Horror. And it's called the Somlin Supercut. It is literally 2 hours of me doing a recap of each day of watching the movie. And I mean, it was no matter what was going on in my life, I watched that movie at least once a day, and that included like on flights because I had a hunting trip I went on. I'm even firing my grandfather's old 22 Colt pistol. It was lots of great stuff, and I got a lot of good insights on the movie, and it was definitely not a chronicling of a man's decline into insanity. It was just my true love of Halloween 3. So definitely recommend that if you want to waste 2 hours of hearing a very, very deranged, spiraling take on Halloween 3. I don't know. Is there anything else that's really caught the same feeling as Halloween 3? I don't know. I feel like I haven't felt the same about any horror movie since watching Halloween 3. There's good ones. I'm not saying there's not good ones to watch. I'm pretty excited about the Insidious conclusion. I've always been a big fan of that franchise. I need to rewatch them all. I don't think I've watched The Last Key, but man, that even though there's some missteps in the later movies, that was a cool franchise. It was a cool story. Soldier's just asking for it. I'm not going to ban you if you ask for it. Okay? And yes, Tom Atkins, pure sexual energy. Near Dark. Yeah, Near Dark's good. Near Dark's good. Sultry, how about you become the end of the human centipede? I think that's a fate worse than a banhammer. Because you won't be able to speak, but your mouth will always be full. Oh God. Actually, Jason, I have thought about trying it. I have tried. I think the only logical step next would be to watch Halloween 3 once a day for a year straight. Will they make the movies we ask for? I don't know. No. I think the answer to that's probably no. All they do is remake stuff now, right? I feel like I'm a boomer, but I mean, they just remake stuff or steal it. I guess now that the Mario movie was so popular, I guess they're going to start ruining video games again. because I'm sure there's going to be like a bunch of cash grab movies that don't even touch the spirit of the games they're trying to emulate. I mean, that Assassin's Creed movie was pretty horrific. Um, New scanners, yeah, gets some good head exploding action. That's always solid. Has anybody got any cool summer plans? Anybody doing anything neat? Make sure you keep your Saturday evenings open. Oh, I haven't watched that one yet. So Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Uncle Pete says it's solid. Yeah, it's worth watching at least. I mean, I didn't have high expectations for a movie like that. I mean, again, that was like a shameless cash grab on an expiring IP, right? Winnie the Pooh goes public domain, so everybody's gonna start just jumping on it. But Sunday, why would anybody be murdered? Nobody has ever died in any KOH event. I'm legally obligated to tell you that what you're saying is incorrect. Freddy's going to go to Colorado and get wrecked. I mean, you can get wrecked anywhere, but yes, Colorado, it's a little bit easier to get wrecked since you can get whatever you want easily. Evil Dead Rise, haven't watched it yet, but I have heard good things. I've always, in that entire franchise though, I've always liked like the Army of the Dead, Army of Darkness, like the Ash heavy, like when he's on the other side. I haven't been as big of a fan of the Evil Deads, but they're great. I mean, all of them are fantastic, but I kind of like more of when he's on the other side and he fully converts to the chainsaw and crossbow and Russell. That's not true. I talk about Maximum Overdrive all the time, and that is a rest stop movie. It may not be one of the rest stop movies, but that is a rest stop movie, and Maximum Overdrive is amazing. And Margaret, you're in luck. We will be doing our Week of Sharks again. I don't know if anybody. Do you remember Week of Sharks? It's our legally safe entry, and we're doing Week of Sharks. We'll be doing our second year of Week of Sharks. Plenty of shark movies. Yes, Prince of Darkness, fantastic. John Carpenter, and your boy Donald Pleasance. How could you not like it? Anonymous, yes, the present day is truly a horror movie that we are living in. They Live's awesome. I am not allowed to reveal what shark movies Sunday, but there is a. Rest assured, there are plenty of movies to pick from in the KOH library for us to show an entire week of shark-related content. We don't have Sharknado, but we have something better. We have something combining Cocaine Bear and Sharknado. And if you work the Google machine on the internet, you might be able to figure out what that title would be. New Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I don't remember seeing that. Is that going to be like the Friday the 13th one? Hopefully it's not like mired in all the legal battles. I missed somebody else. I didn't mean to ignore you. Oh, Sunday. Yeah, Alamo. We don't have an Alamo up here either, but we do have a movie tavern, so that's pretty solid. They at least have like the... Actually, all the theaters here in Lexington have converted to having like a bar and like cocktails and stuff, so you can pretty much get a similar Alamo Drafthouse experience. But Alamo's pretty solid. But it's nice that like movie theaters, I think, have like tried to up their game after giving us like crappy sticky floors and gross dirty seats for like 20 years and stale popcorn. So I'm like, now we pay, $14 a ticket, but I feel like now the chairs recline, so it's a more even trade. So I appreciate that, because there's nothing, you can't beat watching a movie in theaters. It's just, I mean, my goal is to build like a theater in my basement, but I'm still gonna go to the movies. I mean, you can't beat that feeling. There's just something about going out and buying the stuff at the concession stand and yelling at people that are on their phones and throwing popcorn at people making out and eating spaghetti that you snuck into the movie theater and falling asleep halfway through it. So, I mean, just the magic. It's magic, but you know, it's so nice. It's so nice that we have. It's so easy to watch stuff at home if you need to catch up on things. So we're living a good time. We're living a good time. But seeing the Flash on Saturday, yeah. Well, just be careful. Ezra doesn't hit you with a chair. You know, you gotta watch out. Ezra is a menace. I was actually in Hawaii last summer for a week, and I was like deathly afraid that Ezra Miller was gonna beat me up. I was looking over my shoulder the entire week, ruined my vacation. Total menace to society. I do not understand how Ezra Miller is not in jail. I don't get that, but whatever. But Michael Keaton is in The Flash, and Ezra Miller is done as The Flash, as far as I understand, with this whole thing. So maybe DC can get its shit together, but let's not count on that. Let's just enjoy it for what it is, and I don't know if I'll be able to catch it in the theaters by the time I get around to watching another movie. I know that I'm very, very excited for Barbie, and that's pretty much my movie event of the year circled. So, no judgment. But I've got 8:33, so if anybody else has any more pressing questions, I've given you 3 more minutes than I promised, so we'll call it a wrap this week. But again, congratulations to Jules for winning trivia. Congratulations to Uncle Pete for earning his spot in the Human Centipede. And congratulations to Jason for earning his spot at the end of the Human Centipede. So, don't forget, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the channel, please, for the love of God, subscribe. Why would you want to miss this stuff? You know, we have movies we show too. It's not just this. We get accused of talking over the movies. We have movies without us in them. We have movies with us talking at the breaks. And we have fun stuff like this on the side. Got a little bit of horror for everybody. Pick and choose what you like. It's a buffet. And with that, don't forget to tune in tomorrow and all weekend. We have plenty of premieres. They should be queued up on the schedule. I don't have the list of movies in front of me. Patrick does not give me a script. But we got a lot of action happening. Be on the lookout for some promos to tease what we got coming ahead in the following weeks. And come join us in the Discord and share some communion with your fellow horror fans. And I do try to remember to pop in now and then when I remember that we're there. I'm really bad with Discord when I don't have to actually do stuff in Discord because I have like 900 other threads that I'm always answering. So, but yeah, join a Discord, talk to everybody, share your stuff. Got cool projects, find cool things. As always, we're here. I'm Shelby. This is Kings of Horror, and you all have a wonderful rest of the night and enjoy those movies this weekend.